Hello, everyone. Welcome back once again to the show, Quackos Talk with the Expert. Today, we have Miss Murphy Vadhan, who is a yoga cum Zumba instructor. Miss Murphy is here with us to share her experiences as a yoga instructor and also to give us all an insight about what exactly it takes to become a professional yoga instructor. Hello, Miss Murphy. Thank you so much for joining with us.
Hello, Ravi, and thank you to Qualcomm to have me here. And it's my pleasure to, share and give info about how to become a yoga instructor. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. We're really happy to talk with you today. And Ms. Murphy, before I start off, could you please brief us up about your experience as a professional yoga instructor? You have previously been a working professional, and then you have made this shift, and now you are a professional yoga instructor. So, could you just tell us what prompted you, or what is your motivation for this particular shift?
So I did not have any planned move to take this as a career choice actually. And in my case, it was not like what motivated me, but more it was about who motivated me. So I was in corporate sector for more than 10 years, and after I quit my last job with an e-commerce company, I was just happy learning yoga and practicing yoga. And it was my yoga guruji, Srimati Deepa Ramachandran from Chennai, under whom I was practicing that time. It was around 5 years back. So when I was learning and practicing with her, I used to help her with demonstrating asanas for other students and also help her, in teaching other students. So it was she who told me it's time that I take the next step, who saw it in me that I can be a yoga instructor, and then encouraged and motivated me and also trained me to be a yoga instructor. And then later on, I got certified, and I'm very thankful uh, that she saw that in me, and my family supported me in this choice, because today I can say that I'm so happy that I'm able to make even a little bit difference in people's lives, through yoga. So the whole credit goes to my yoga guru, Deepa Ramachandran.
Right, that's a terrific story. When you first started practicing yoga during your work life, you would have definitely. I mean, anybody goes through stress in their work life. So, what are the significant changes that you could observe in yourself when you first took up this habit of practicing yoga alongside your work? So, how did it help you in overcoming your stress?
Yes. So for me, the last workplace that I was in, and the profile that I was managing, I was heading a product department in an e-commerce company. So my main challenge there was that I was not having enough time to even contribute 20 minutes for any fitness regimen or do any exercise or even 10 minutes of yoga. So, but whenever I used to manage the time to do yoga. Even before that, the workplaces I have been when I was working, even half an hour of yoga, what it does is, first of all, it immediately boosts your physical energy. So you are able to pack more activities in a day without feeling fatigued or stressed out by the end of the day. So you are able to do more physical work, and but still being very relaxed at the end of the
Right.
day. So it's definitely the best stress buster, I'll say, because the whole point of yoga is tuning your body, your breath work with the exercise, and not just exercise as in other fitness regimens. So for me also, that was one advantage that I used to find. And secondly, it helps you with your appetite, with your
Exactly.
sleep. So with regular practice of yoga, if even if I sleep for 4 hours and wake up, I'll wake up more fresh than,
Exactly.
you are not doing any exercise, and then just you have 9 hours of sleep. So at times, but still it's not a good quality sleep. So those are the basic things, because when I was working, I used to find on and off little time. There was no regular practice. But with that little time of yoga also, I used to find that it used to help me be very upbeat physically and be
Right.
more agile.
Yeah, absolutely. Even I personally practice yoga sometimes when I find time every week, and the amount of freshness that I get after a half an hour session of yoga is it's just amazing.
Yes.
And actually, there are a lot of forms of yoga, like hatha yoga, power yoga. There are many other forms as well. So, what kind or what is that particular practice which you teach students as an instructor? And also, is it necessary for a yoga instructor to know all these forms? So, in order to become an instructor, is it mandatory to know all these different styles of yoga?
Uh, See, when it comes to the science of yoga, so first of all, yoga, a lot of people have this misconception that yoga is just asanas and pranayama. Yoga is a life science, and these are just two parts of it. So even when you are practicing or teaching just the asanas or pranayama and just the yoga for keeping somebody healthy, in that also there are various traditional schools of yoga, traditional streams of yoga, and then there are certain business models that have developed, like Bikram yoga, or for example, or so these are the business models which were not the traditional forms of
Right.
yoga.
Yeah.
Now, so answer to your question, first, no, it's not necessary that a yoga instructor should know all streams of yoga or have knowledge about all the schools of yoga. So I basically teach predominantly I teach Shivananda yoga and
Okay.
Hatha yoga in my classes. But
Okay.
at the same time, I bring certain sequences and practices from Iyengar yoga, from sequences from Yin Yang yoga.
Okay.
So, yeah, so because for a person who has been practicing Shivananda yoga, who has gained proficiency in Shivananda yoga, it makes sense that he should teach that, because it is a practical science. It is not an academic field. Yoga is not an academic thing. So you should have the skill first to be able to help another person with that.
Perfect.
Having said that, all the traditional schools and forms of yoga are interrelated. So I may have practiced and gained proficiency in Shivananda yoga, but I can always go and do a course in Iyengar yoga,
Right.
which will have little more advanced practices, or the same practices with little modification according to that school of thought or that school of teaching. All right. So a person who has practiced Shivananda yoga can get certified in Iyengar yoga, and then will have the skill to teach both. But it is not necessary that a person should know all the existing or all the traditional forms or schools of yoga. But I
Right.
should tell very clearly that, if you have been practicing and you are skilled in a particular stream of yoga, then just because some studio is paying you to do another form of yoga, it is not right for that person to just say that because I'm certified yoga instructor and I am, good to teach. Just because a studio is giving you a
Right.
chance or a place is giving you a chance. So it's so again, like whatever stream you have practiced and you have proficiency in, then you should be an instructor in that stream.
Right. 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 So, what are the various steps any person has to undergo? It could be uh, practical practical training in yoga, or it could be taking up a certified course. So, what are the various steps a person needs to undergo in order for that person to become a certified yoga instructor by himself or herself?
Broadly speaking, there are three steps. First is your own practice and how your own skill as a yoga practitioner. Second is certification. Third is training. Now, the second and third step can happen at the same time, or can be interchanged. I'll explain. So the first step is for you, before you decide that, okay, let me get certified, or let me start teaching people yoga, you should have the necessary skill. Like I said, you are it is a practical knowledge. It's a practice. Yoga is a practice. It's a life science. So until and unless you have in you the proficiency, you are not able to teach another person. And another way is to ask your own yoga teacher whether I am ready to be a yoga teacher. If you have a good yoga guru, a yoga teacher, because they are seeing you not only as a practitioner but also as a person. So some person can be really great in his or her own practice, but may not have the aptitude to teach that, the kind of skills or patience that you require to be a teacher.
Right.
So your yoga guruji will tell you, or you yourself at times may know that, yeah, now I have been helping so many people and I think it can be useful for my knowledge, can be useful for other people.
Yeah.
Second step, like I said, you can join a course which will certify you. At the same time, during that course itself will train you with the required teacher training skills.
Okay.
So they, as part of that course itself, they will not only teach you the required yoga practices, but also will teach you the skills which a yoga teacher needs. So during the course of certification itself, you will have the training also.
Okay. Right.
So then it's just two steps. One is your own knowledge and your own proficiency. Second is your certification and training merged into one. Or else you do the certification and then start training yourself. You can even start from your own family members, from your own friends, a small group, start teaching a small group. And then when you gain the confidence, you can, start diverging into teaching a large group of students or people.
Right.
Some people, like in my case, at first itself I was trained. So for me, the step was my own practice and proficiency. Second, the training happened, and then I did certification, which also enhanced my learning. So, so that the number of steps might differ from two or three, but what is required is your own proficiency, certification, and training as a teacher.